I just got out of the dentist's office, and my dentist, he says to me, he says, "Hey, Wesley, are you the guy that does the hay up here on Baptist Church Road?" I'm like, I don't know. Baptist Church Road? I don't even know where Baptist Church Road is. He says, no, up here on the right. I was like, oh, up there at Hoffman Park. I said, no, I don't do the hay at Hoffman Park. I said, why? He says, he said they baled it, he said, and left the bales there, which, I said, yeah, that's kind of normal. We've been up against a gun here for a while. And, we've been up against a gun for a while trying to get this hay made, and, it's okay if you leave it out there. It's no big deal. But I decided I would go for a walk and see this Hoffman Park. I've never been here before. Okay, so I've never been here, and this thing, it says keep out. This whole building is like falling down. When a government entity buys a property like this, they just let it fall apart. I find this to be rather weird. I can hear water rushing over there, so it's filling these like mill ponds, and I don't know what this was. At some point, obviously, this had to be a house. I would think it had to be a house. Let's walk up in here. I know it says keep out, but I'm just gonna be a pain in the ass. I don't have to go in. I'll stay on the outside of this thing. And I'm not the only one to venture into this thing. So yeah, it looks pretty rough in there. It looks like an old, I don't know, like an old campground or something that someone had at one time, and over time the damn thing has fallen apart. Just falling apart. Now there's no chance of anything falling on me on this part. It's all concrete, and I really don't know what it was before it was the Hoffman Park, because this is Hunterdon County's park system, and usually when they buy a piece of property they tear all the buildings down, but they haven't on this one. And I'm just taking a walk. I don't know, just taking a walk. So I decided I would go up and look and see what my dentist was talking about, because I know who used to farm the property, I know who farms it now, and I just wanted to see the quality of the guy's work. I know what the quality of the former farmer's work was, which was pretty good. Never any problems. And I've never really wandered around this place, this property, before, but continue to go. Who knows? Yep. Oh yeah. So you walk along this park, and all of a sudden you come across, well, here's a set of stairs. I've been up them once. I'm going to show you what is up here, because I'm evil and I don't heed warnings. But the roof is good, therefore the floor is good. There's a hole there. I don't know what that's about. But it's weird, this thing was built and done up like this, and they painted the 2x4s. They made doorways to come in and out of something like this. Now, what it's about, I have no idea, other than, this is usually where you find used condoms and stuff. But, yeah, it's kind of weird. So they did all this work up here, and this is they painted the studs, but they've never had drywall or anything up here. I think they got halfway done and said, you know what, screw it, we're not doing it. And that's that. Here's a nice slug hole. So somebody shot through it with a shotgun. I could almost guarantee it. If it went there, it would come out over here, unless it hit one of the studs someplace. But you never know. I don't see a hole unless somebody did something from the inside. But yeah, that's pretty much what that is. Somebody's shooting through it with a gun. Now the park rangers are going to come and get me, so I better run. Anyway, yeah, so there's nothing up here. It's weird how I did. Even the boards, the ceiling, the trusses are even painted this weird green color. I don't know. Weird New Jersey, right? It's amazing what you find. Just amazing what you find. And I thought that thing down there was weird. But anyway, On to the next bit of curiosity, I should say. There's a lake or something down below, and I think you have to walk to it. I'm not sure. I haven't found a map yet. But I've looked at my GPS, and it's definitely, there's some, I say lakes, but large ponds to go fishing in. So maybe I'll show that. But I want to show you the quality of the work of the new guy that's farming this property. I don't know. I'm not 100% sure who he is. You know, I don't know. You know, I've heard rumors of who it was, but I don't know for a fact that that's who it is. Okay, so I'm going to continue walking up the road, but I wanted to detract from what I was doing. But this is the material that's out here. This is switchgrass, and I believe there's some big blue stem in here. I think that's what that is. Indian, switch, big blue. And this grass is unwanted. Sounds like somebody's coming up here. The mushroom barns or the composters don't want this stuff. If I have this, I can't use it. I can't make it. I can't get rid of it. They just don't want it. Anybody that is harvesting this without a specific purpose, I know the former farmer, he used it for pellets. He sold it to a matting company and a composting company. And I swear I hear a vehicle coming, which doesn't matter. I'm on the park. So yeah, it was okay, but I don't know what the new guy is doing with it. But composters won't buy this stuff. I can't grow it for the composters or for the mushroom growers. And there's a lot of it here. Actually, this whole farm is nothing but this. This is just a small field, but there's quite a few acres of it. So I guess I'm continuing to walk, and I see. Oh. So there is some more ground up here. I don't know. I've never been here before, which I've never even bid on this property because it was farmed by a guy that I know very well. And we try not to bid against one another just because it's not cool to do. Oh, okay, so I know where I'm at. So this is another entrance or exit to the park that they don't want you to use, obviously. And yeah, there is material right there. Okay, so there's bales here. Let's go take a look at them while I'm here. All right, so here's the bales. Oh, looks like it was done with a 3x3 baler. Oh, I know exactly where I'm at now. I never realized that this was an entranceway to the property. So anyway, what the hell? Tiny little bales. These things are a pain in the ass, by the way. It's like a 7-foot bale. Whoever's doing it has got some serious... Okay, so whoever is doing it is using a single tie knotter baler. The only single tie knotter baler that I know of at this stage in the game was the coon baler. I don't see a baler here, but that's all I ever knew to have. And they're loose. I mean, there's not much hay in them bales. If that bale weighs 800 pounds, he's lucky. There's fair few bales, not like what you'd put through a crone, but they are there. So that's got to be a coon baler. Coon was the one that sold their design to John Deere, and now you have the LB340, the LB330, the LB331, LB341. They are not a coon baler, but Coon still produces a baler, but the design was sold to John Deere. All right. So John Deere takes that design and they revamp it. They make it a double knot system. They improve on a lot of things, and I actually like the John Deere baler. And I'm about to get drenched, so god darn it. I'm quite a ways away from the truck too, so. But anyways, they've done a lot of work. You can still buy the Coon baler. It has options. Your option to buy a single tie system or a double tie system. I would never buy a single tie system. I had that in a New Holland 2000. It was a joke. It was beyond a joke. Once they came out with a double knot system, I was actually surprised that Kuhn would even think about putting a single tie system in their balers. I actually went to a demonstration at Deer Country back when I had bought my BB960A. It was right in that time, so it was the early 2000s, and this Kuhn baler was an option for me to buy. I wanted to see it work, and when I saw that it was a single tie knot system, I was like, fuck that thing. Because I think back in that time they were using like a 550 or a 600 pound knot strength twine to hold the knot because of the single tie system. But what I just felt on that bale, I think my 4x4 baler that I've been working on actually packs a much tighter bale than that, and it's not supposed to, of course, because I've done some work to it. But anyway, yeah, I want to show you some more of this switchgrass here. Let me poke my head through this fence row here. Now, you are not going to take this to a mushroom barn. The matting companies, they want it dry, so anything that is, I mean, it's thick as hell, but it doesn't break down properly in the compost. So they really have a fit if you even show up there with a couple of bales on your load. And that's just a cold hard fact. You can fool a mushroom barn for a while, but you're not going to fool a composter because they're a little more anal. The mushroom barns, they're pretty much phasing out. If you don't know what I'm saying, a mushroom barn and a composter are very different in the way that they do their composting. A composter composts for the most efficient, most productive soil that they can produce. Whereas a mushroom barn, as silly as it sounds, they are set in their ways. They will do the same thing, just like a dairy farmer. I've milked cows this way all my life. Why should I ever change? It's the same thing with a mushroom barn, non-progressive mushroom barn. You get the old mom and pop family mushroom barn, which they're just about all gone now. There's only a few left, but they are set in their ways. They will continue to buy stuff that doesn't break down properly and wonder why they're not producing mushrooms. Whereas you take a composter and that's all they do is produce mushroom soil or soil that will produce a quality product that will grow mushrooms consistently and with a lot, like really grow a lot. And switchgrass isn't going to do it. Big blue, switchgrass, any of that stuff, just not going to do it because it doesn't break down properly. So if this person that rented this ground away from my friend is going to attempt to take this to a mushroom barn, they're going to have fun with that, especially at this stage in the game. It's very coarse and stemmy, and that's not what they're looking for at this point. The older, like the mushroom barns themselves, the mushroom growers themselves that are still composting for themselves, they'll buy it because that's what they think they need. Even though it's been proven that a different type of material will grow make soil better. So anyways, now I'm going to shut up, get in my truck, and I will show you what's left in the field here, down here. Somebody got a little bit rambunctious with their hay rake, and I'm soaked, drenched right through. Okay, so being I'm already wet, I might as well get out. You can see this is all warm season switchgrass and stuff. But if you look at the ground, now we've had an inch or so of rain. I guarantee you what's left in this field is as much as what was baled. It's kind of strange that they would leave so much behind, and maybe the camera's not picking it up, but there's every bit as much on the ground than is in that bale, which to me, if you got a problem, you're better off leaving it, correcting the problem if you can, and then getting onto it and doing it right. I mean, this year it's a no holds barred kind of a year. We just don't have that luxury option to Okay, so I'm not criticizing or ridiculing the person that is actually making hay on this farm, because we've all had problems and we've all had to do things that we weren't happy to do. And it's just a cold, hard fact. It sucks sometimes, and he was probably trying to beat the rain, and something happened to his hay rake, and he just said, screw it, I'm going to run this thing the way You know what it actually looks like to me is that the hay rake wasn't working, because some of the other fields looked like they were nice, crisp, and clean, whereas this field it looked like it just ran the baler over top of unraked windrows. That's what it looked like. So, I mean, I don't have all the information, and it was just a really interesting afternoon. Well, it wasn't an afternoon, about an hour of my time walking around that park there and seeing the different things that were there, and to experience what it kind of going back in time. And apparently this has been a park for like 35, 40 years. It's crazy. 30 years or so. I talked to a park ranger, and he said there used to be a big mansion up on top of the hill. So I was going to go back, and FSA, I think, has some old maps from the 1930s, 40s, 50s, and stuff like that, and see what it looked like back in the day. But anyways, yeah. So I was just up there because my dentist said it looked like a mess, and I agree. But who knows? Was the mess a mess because he wanted it to be a mess, or was it a mess because he had problems? My bet is it's because he had problems.